President Trump outlined in very sketchy format a three-pronged strategy to Afghanistan. And I'd like to ask you about two of those. One is the time-based to condition-based approach, and the other is deploying advisors down to the brigade level. So starting with the first, and this is a preparatory question, does the condition-based approach envision or contemplate, and I'm not asking for a time, I'm asking for, does it contemplate a state where we withdraw all U.S. forces?
No, it does not. It implies bringing people, the number of people we have there, down based on the standing up of more capability and the maturing of the Afghan forces. There could be American advisors there 10 years from now, maybe a handful compared to today.
Okay. Follow up. So while the military goal, as I understand it, is to provide that time and space for the Afghan government, the Afghan army to establish itself so it can provide for its own security, what are the non-military efforts to address the corruption and poor leadership, the eroding security, the economic stagnation, the minimal foreign investment, and the soaring unemployment, all of which contribute to a climate in which the Taliban and other extremist groups can recruit and then conduct their activities?
Yeah, Congressman, the corruption is, to our way of thinking, a strategic vulnerability that has to be addressed. President Ghani has signed with us a compact of what we are going to do about it. It has to do with control of money. It has to do with who they put into position. There's accountability. They've just put a 3-star general in jail to show you that this is going to the very top. It's not like it's only the little guy who's being scooped up. There's an accountability there that is going to shift the opportunity for this into a penalty box, not an opportunity. We're going to change that. I think on the eroding security, the offensive actions by the enemy have now been pretty much blunted. They're down to isolated ambushes and IEDs. Some of the IEDs are large, high-profile IEDs, but they have been unable to sustain the kind of offensives they had last year where they were able to move in large groups. If they get in large groups now, they understand our rules have changed, and we're going to take them out. So they've had to fragment and disaggregate more, which means they can't take over the district and provincial centers that our press was full of stories how they were proclaiming what they're going to do this year. They've been unable, they've been unfulfilled what they said they were going to do. It's not that they're not dangerous, and it's not that we're not going to have to increase the security there for the Afghan people. We will. As far as investment goes, you'll see India, for example, picking up a larger bit of investment. We're going to other nations about the development investments to try to get them to do more, and so far we've had some success in this. We'll see it actually go into action probably by sometime late this winter, start seeing it. But we're addressing each of these efforts that you've laid out with benchmarks so that we, as much as possible, can quantify the progress. You may not be able to quantify everything about it. Some of it's subjective, but we're trying to quantify what we're doing in each case so that we do not have an assumption that things are going to turn out well. We're going to have to make it turn out well.
And if I could just use the rest of my time to make this statement. You know, I visited with Ambassador Laurel, and while he's got the largest embassy in the world, they're camped out in Kabul. You've asked for 4,000 or plus more soldiers. They're going to go to the brigade level. You're already stretched too thin with advisors. You're going to go 2 levels down. You'll be stretched that much further. He's not going to get the force protection that he needs. And while I understand the president's concern about nation building or trying to build Western-style institutions, nobody can help reestablish civil institutions and a regional economy better than the United States. Our military is the best in training foreign militaries, and it's our State Department, our USAID, that does diplomacy and development better than any other nation. So I would hope that we could see more U.S. involvement in that non-military effort. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Bacon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you both for being here. Thank you for your leadership. Our country is blessed to have you. General Dunford, you commanded forces in Afghanistan in 2014. How has your thinking evolved since then, seen from your new perspective?
You know, to be honest with you, Congressman, to some extent we're going back